Hey friends, it's Lenny or 1A Auto. Today we're going to be working on our 1996 Dodge Ram 1500. I want to show you something fairly basic, removing and reinstalling a window motor. Should be fairly easy. I can do it and you can do it too. And as always, if you need any parts, you can check us out at 1aauto.com. Thanks. Okay, so we've got a couple Phillips head screws, one here and one here. We'll take those out. We've got our two screws. They're both the same. This right here can move around now. That's nice. Cool. All right, we've got another screw up here. Get that out of there. Looks the same as the other two. Nothing special. Set all three of those aside. Now this door panel, we're just going to feel around, make sure that there's no more screws. Sometimes you'll feel a couple coming along the bottom there. This does not feel like it has any, so we're doing all right. We have a couple plastic trim tools. The reason why we're using plastic is because we're going to be going up against the paint. And if you're worried about your paint, then of course you don't want to scratch it up with metal. Come right in here like this. Just going to go right along. Okay, lift this up. As you go, you're gonna just kind of jam it towards the forward position, or I guess towards the front of the vehicle. There we are. And that's just because on the back side of this, we've got all these little clips, and they go inside these hooky-doos. And these things, I don't know why Dodge did it, but they've got some so you need to slide straight up and down. You got some that you need to slide forward and back. Whatever, I'm sure they have their reasons. But anyway, we've got this almost off now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the wiring off of the back here. So the next thing we're going to want to do is disconnect this right here. There's a little tab. You can usually grab it with your thumb if you can't. Small pocket screwdriver. Just grab it, pull it away, give this top area a little wiggle. Should want to slide right out. Awesome. So right here, there's a little tab. You can use your thumb if you want. Try to push it, just be careful for a pinch. I'm gonna use this. I'm just gonna push right here. That lets this come up. Now if we come this side, we can lift right up on this. Awesome. I'm just gonna go right like this, see if I can get it to go down and through. This is great. Now we can get our door panel right out of the way and keep on plugging away. So here we are, friends. We've got our left side door speaker here. We're going to remove the 4 Phillips head mounting screws. That's what those look like. They're all the same. We'll set them aside so we can't lose them. Just gonna grab the speaker, give it a little wiggle. It's been on there for a long, long time. Pull it out of there carefully. All right, before we remove that, I'm gonna use my forky tool and go right along the door here and just try to get the connector to come off of the door. It's just held in by a little push pin. So just get this in there. There it is. That gives us a little bit more slack to see what we're dealing with here. You got yourself a little push tab, okay? If you can't push it with your thumb, that's fine. Just use your pocket screwdriver. Go right in between here. Give a tug while you're doing it. And it comes right off. Okay, so we want to check down along the bottom here. This is the channel with our window all the way down. You can see where one of your nuts is right there. And that just kind of closes this clamp down and holds onto the window. So I'm just going to take my 10mm. Loosen that up a fair amount. It doesn't need to come all the way off. Looks pretty good. Do the same thing to this one. You can see it right through here. There. Nice. Just give this a little wiggle. Awesome. All right, so now that we have both these nuts loose, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to slide this lower channel to the left so that the nut right there lines up with the hole. Make sure these are loose. That's good. I'm just gonna stick my finger on this side. Just try to slide that over. Awesome. Cool. So this looks like it's pretty close to being ready to come off here. There it is. Just gonna get that out of there. There we go. Slide it up. That's pretty good. Get our tape ready. Start from whichever side you want, inside, outside. Just stick it on there. Come up and over. Awesome. Let's move along. All right, so we've got the window taped up. That's great. We have a bolt here, 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 and then of course this right here, okay? If you don't feel like pulling off all this vapor barrier and potentially tearing it and causing a big old mess, you just take a nice little razor blade, put a couple little slashes just so you can get to where the bolt is and you can draw it out, okay? You just pull it right out through there. And that's a much smaller issue than, of course, having a big rip in it. And a little hole like this really isn't gonna cause an issue because, I mean, meh. Okay? So, let's grab our 10 millimeter. Right here. Just gonna go right on this one. That's what one of our bolts looks like, by the way. Bolt number 2, same as the first. Awesome. We're gonna keep on rolling here. There we go. I think this one's the pepper, boy. Awesome. Let's get our bolt out of there. It's another shorty. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 shorts and 2 longs. Okay. We've got our electrical connector right here. Try to get this off of there. You just pull the little tab and you should be able to pull down. Awesome. We're gonna bring this over. Now we're gonna do whatever we have to do to get it out of this door. Be careful for any pinch points. Ta-da! Okay, so we have our window regulator unit here, and the motor's still attached. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take out these 3 10 millimeters. You need to be careful because a lot of times this is under spring tension, which is right here, and the motor could be holding this cog in a spring-loaded position. So once we take this off, the spring might want to say, I had enough of this, I'm out of here, and this gear could come spinning. So just be super careful for any pinch points, and let's continue. 10 millimeter. All right, things are getting loose here. That's one screw, two, okay, all three are out. This hasn't done anything crazy yet, so that's kind of cool. Just gonna give the motor a little bonk. There we go. So that came right out of there, and it was under spring tension. Awesome. All right, friends, so here we go. It's time to install our motor onto our regulator. To do that, we're just going to take this, and we're going to be careful because this is going to put it under slight spring tension right here. As we turn this, the spring's starting to get tighter and tighter, and it wants to let go, okay? You can start it wherever you want. Now we're going to take our motor. We're going to line up our 3 holes with the 3 holes in the regulator. Should just set right in just like this. That looks great. I'm going to turn the whole unit over, and now I can see my screw holes from the back side. We'll take our 3 bolts that we have here. They're just 10mm heads, same bolts we removed. I'm going to start it in here. Get that in. There it is. This one. We're not going to tighten any of these up until we get them all started. That's very important in case you have to wiggle this motor around. That looks pretty great. Awesome. Let's snug them up. It's tight. Just take it to the point that when you're tightening, it bottoms out, and then just a teeny bit more. That's all you have to do. You don't have to go too tight on it there, Hercules. You don't need to use a 1/2-inch air gun or anything crazy like that. Just a little 1/4-inch ratchet, bottom it out, and then give it a little extra. This unit's ready to be installed into the vehicle. Let's do it. All right, so now that we have this all together and waiting for us, I'm just gonna plug it in. There we go. I'm gonna hold on to the motor itself. There we are. I'm gonna disconnect this. I'm gonna turn off the key to the vehicle, and we can continue. All right, so we're just gonna start a couple of these bolts. Do this one right here. It's easiest to do this before you get it in the door. Once it's in the door, sometimes getting these started isn't the easiest. Just a couple threads. We don't want them tight because obviously they have to hold on to the door. We're gonna get this inside the door. We're gonna slide these down into their corresponding holes. Once they're in there, it'll kind of hold that for us, and we can continue. This just slides in, all the way down in there. Okay, I got one of my screws right there. Let's see if I can find the other one. Awesome. So this one's sitting down here, that one's sitting there. Once we push this, these should line up. So, grab some more of our bolts here. So now we've got this arm. We're just gonna bring that up to where it belongs. We're gonna line up these holes, the holes up here. You can see one of our holes. Okay, not gonna tighten it up yet because I still have to get the other one started. Start it in. bolts are started. Just double check, looks good. All right, so now we're just gonna snug all these up and then we can move along to the next step. There we are. Awesome. Let's move ahead to the next step. We're just gonna plug this back in. Time to get our speaker connected in. Just gonna try to grab the electrical connector. Get your lock there. Should slide in. Give it a tug. Nice. Okay. I'm just gonna bring this down here. Get the little push pin pushed into its hole. Just press that into its hole. That holds it nice and tight. Take our speaker. We'll mount it up. So we're just going to put the key in the on position. We're going to bring this. So we got this hole here, this one right here. We want to make sure that we can see it because we're going to need to put the, we're going to need to tighten up the bolt that's going to be right there. So once you get it to a good working level, turn back off your key power. Here comes the fun part. This is where we're going to be bringing the window back down. So you want to make sure that you don't have any anything slippery on your hands. We're going to be grabbing the glass, slowly lowering it down, and trying to line up those bolts with these holes right here, and then sliding this in to latch it in. Here we go. I'm just going to leave the tape dangling on there in case I need to put it back up for any reason. It's doubtable, but you never know. Going down. Okay, let's see right here. There's one. Bring it down just a scotch more. Push that in. Slide this over, hopefully to lock it. Come on, baby. Awesome. Okay, so both of those studs are through this rod, and then the nuts are holding it into the locked position. So we're just going to snug these up, and then we'll test the function of the window before we continue. All right, so we're going to put the key in the on position. Awesome. And we're just going to test the window, make sure it goes up and down. Oopsie daisy. And down. Ooh. Very nice. Okay, so I'd say that that works pretty good. I'm gonna leave it just like this because what do I have to do now? I'm gonna have to clean this down at the end. So I'll leave it right there. Take my key out of the ignition, and now we can continue. All right, so it's gonna be time to get the door panel on here. Before we go ahead and do that, we're gonna take out all these push pins. All right. And we're going to put them right into the door panel, and then we'll put the door panel in, and the push pins will hold it to the door. To do that, you're going to use something as simple as this. It's a little forky tool. Just like that. Give it a little twist. Whatever you got to do to get these puppies to pull out. And make them nice and long for you. That's what they look like. They got like a little ear there, and that's where it's going to slide over the door panel. And then these little ears right here are what hold into this hole. We'll take all these out and we can continue. So these little tabs, the push pins, got that area right there that I showed you before. It just slides right in, okay? Bonk. There we are. Do the same for all of them, and then we can continue. Okay, friends, let's get this door panel on. I'm gonna take the electrical connector, or the electrical harness here. Try to bring it up and through this. Can be a little tricky sometimes. Try to get out of the way. give it a, there it is. Just have to be a little forceful with it sometimes, that's okay. We've got our electrical connector right here for our mirror switch. We're gonna plug that in. You can tell which way it goes because it has this little nub right here, and that lines up with the nub in there. Slide it in, give it a tug. Don't pull the whole thing right off the door though. Put that back on there. Cool. All right, let's bring this up. What we're gonna pay attention to now is the door handle. Just gonna try to pull the door handle through its hole. Slide this over. Awesome. We've got our lock. Just take the lock, just bring it right through the hole. Awesome. Bring the door panel down. Get it so all of our little push pin / pitons are going to be lined up with our holes. Once you get a couple of them started in, generally speaking, all the rest will be lined up. The hardest ones for me to see are the top ones. But it is important to get them lined up. Awesome. Down along our side here. Same thing along this side. Just line up as many of them as you can before you start bonking them in. One in the center here that is lined up but not going in. There it is. Ah, yeah. Awesome. You just want to make sure that your door lock can flow up and down easily. If it can't, this could be wedged a little bit. Maybe the bar got bent in some of the process that you were doing. If that's the case, well, you're just gonna have to pop this back out of the way and see what you can do about bending it, because you want this to make sure that it can go up and down. That looks really great. I would say we can continue. So now we're gonna take our long screw and we're gonna go right up in here. Just try to find the hole real quick and then we'll get out of the way. There it is. Okay. We don't need it to be too tight. We don't want to break the plastic or anything. We just need it to pull this right up against. That looks pretty great. We can move along. Grab our switch here. It's just going to slide in. Let's take a look at it. Goes in the back side first, and then the front side. Bonk, bonk. Very nice. We're going to grab our little cup with our 2 mounting screws. Put it facing the right way. You got your holes. You can see where it goes right down into the door. Phillips head. Start that one in. Start this one in. Okay, we're just going to bring it all the way down. That's snug. Awesome.
Thanks for watching. Visit 1aauto.com, your place for DIY auto repairs, for great parts, great service, and more content.